detailplanner.com PGA EuroPro Tour returns to Shropshire and to Hawkstone as the next chapter is about to be written in what's turning out to be a fascinating and intriguing series. Hello and welcome to Hawkstone for the COBRA PUMA Golf Championship. Now the tour returns to Shropshire, where 12 months ago Andrew Marshall proved that experience really does count as he drew on his life in the top tier to record a two-shot victory over David Booth. Andrew Marshall is back this week along with 167 others, all vying not only for the title but jockeying for position on the order of merit. Now every pound won could prove crucial to the fortune of our players. Now of course the championship takes centre stage, but there is a chance to learn more about our players and the venues that make up the tour. Now here is what's on the way over the next couple of hours.
He's pulled an absolute blinder here. Oh, there he is.
It is a brute. Today the pin is front left, massive bunker on the left-hand side, so you don't want to miss it there.
I was very nervous on the first tee. Literally going down the first, my chest was tight, my mouth was dry.
Well, let's start by catching up with news from our last event, the Ford Business Championship at the Oxfordshire. It was Mark Lasky who claimed his third tour title and the first this season, seeing off the challenge of Alex Wrigley by 2 shots. The two started the final round tied at 9 under, along with Jack Harrison and Craig Hinton. As the round unfolded, Lasky and Wrigley turned the championship into a match play. The 15th proved decisive, with Lasky making birdie as the pressure mounted on his playing partner, who dropped a shot on the last, allowing Lasky to take a 2-shot victory. There are 2 stunning courses set in 400 acres here at Hawkstone. Now this week the players are taking on this spectacular championship course. 57 players made the 2 under cut here at the COBRA PUMA Golf Championship. The top 4 all sit on -10. James Moore shot the joint lowest score ever of 62 at Hawkstone in his first round. In his second, he birdied 2 of the last 3 to record a 1 under par 70.
Could be 13, it could be 17, it could be whatever. I don't think you can't put a score in your head until you get through 13 holes, and then you know sort of what people are going to sort of do. But the front 9 is trickier than the back 9. The back 9 you'll see some low numbers, I think.
Chris Lloyd, chasing his maiden EuroPro victory, shot 2 rounds of 66.
We'll have to wait and see, depends on the weather, and the leaderboard is very compact. I mean, from the scores the first couple of days, anyone's capable of shooting 8, 9 under par, so it's a case of keeping the foot down and trying to make as many birdies as possible.
Curtis Griffiths had a 63 on his way to 10 under. The pro from Wentworth is looking for his 2nd win this season after victory at East Sussex.
Much more of the same mindset, same game plan, and hopefully another one of those would be nice.
Matthew Mosley also had a record score of 62 and completes the top 4.
Just keeping control of my ball off the tee, put myself in good position. My iron play and pattern's been really good, so as long as I'm in a good position off the tee, I think I got a good chance.
Further back, 6 players are at 8 under par. A 3-time winner, Billy Hemstock and Steve Surrey, are amongst those well positioned going into the final round. I'm going to hand you over to our commentary team, Gary Ellis, Scott Drummond, but first, Michael McMullen.
Thanks, Hannah. Normally a par 72, but par 71 for this week, as the fifth is reduced to a par 4, 35 out, 36 back. And only 3 tournaments left after this, so it could be a defining day in the season for a lot of these players, including perhaps Liam Murray, looking to pick up where he left off in yesterday's 62.
Beautiful roll down the hill there, walking that one in.
It's a nice start, isn't it? Very good. Little fist pump with the caddy. Happy days.
It's like yesterday's round never finished. Luke Jackson making a big move in the final round, unlikely to win, but could land himself a very good check if he can finish strongly here. His approach to the last.
A little shy there, coming out of the rough. Maybe just didn't quite get the contact, just in that little swale below the green. Yeah, you can see a little bit of thick rough there.
Now, James Moore, first look at him today. One of the overnight joint leaders, parred the first.
Been knocking at the door several times this season, James Moore.
Oh, now that's what you call making an early move.
That is fantastic. There we go. Take that one out, keep it. Little plinth for the trophy cabinet, Scott.
Yeah, let's have another look at that. Here we come. One bounce and straight in. There we go. What a way to start your day.
That's the second hole-in-one we've had in the tournament. Jack South had one on the 9th in the first round.
Just from the lower level. I'm guessing he didn't have a very good lie there at all, and that has just slipped off the back edge. And a little tester again up against the edge of the semi-rough there.
Yeah, maybe undoing some of the good work of earlier in the day. Griffiths, magnificent 63 yesterday to follow his opening 69. And while he plays the first, we'll go out to John Morgan at the 4th.
Well, we come to the 370-yard par 4 fourth hole. Bunker here on the left-hand side, 260 to carry it. Big dog leg from left to right, all the way uphill from start to finish. And what a brute it is. If you miss it right, there's a few trees there, could clatter and leave yourself no shot in. But the awkwardness on this green is the Himalaya green. That is up there. And I tell you what, it is a brute. Today, the pin is front left, massive bunker on the left-hand side, so you don't want to miss it there. But the back right pin, if they do fancy it, is so dangerous. I'm going to attempt to try and land it in probably a radius of no more than 10 foot. Now, being uphill, got to take an extra club and give it some welly, because obviously it takes a bit of yardage added on when it's uphill like this. Now, here we go. Just hopefully it doesn't spin back on me. Well, I've given that some welly right there. Is it got the beans to get up on the top and stay there? Well, I don't know, that might have flipped back off the green, but that just shows you how difficult this baby is.
And on the 4th, it's Liam Murray. We saw him birdie the first. He's since gone on to birdie the 3rd as well. Flying start for him.
Yeah, and like John was saying, yardage control, but also spin control is key. And there's the spin. Not too bad there, almost pin high.
Now, back on the first. Mosley, out of the first cut. Got to avoid that tree. Ball should be high enough to clear those branches. And a very good shot.
Straight down the target line again, Gary.
Yeah, he had a great day yesterday, 62 from Mosley. Now Murray looking for his 3rd birdie in the first 4. Oh, he wasn't far away, was he?
Yeah, just sliding by on the high side there. Would have looked good to him all the way, I guess, that one. But a solid start. A few little discussions with his caddy there, possibly about what was going to happen or didn't happen.
And I talked about Luke Jackson maybe undoing some of his good work. Well, this is to limit the damage, to dropping just one shot at the last. Oh, it's a horrible way to finish after what had been a pretty good day up to then.
Yeah, you can see the frustration, just taking a few extra seconds there to compose himself for this hopefully final putt. disappointing finish, as we said. Solid day's work, a little bitter taste to walk off the course.
But at least he's still smiling after his double bogey.
So Curtis Griffiths, after a good approach, a little bit short, putting up the green, just a tiny bit of movement from right to left there should be on this one, and beautifully read.
And he starts with a birdie for the second day in a row and gets back to one behind Moore, who was taking control of things with that remarkable hole-in-one. Now Murray's good start has stalled a bit with a bogey at the 5th. Here he is now on 6.
Yeah, looking to bounce back. Short iron in here. And just coming out of the rough there, couldn't quite get the spin he was hoping for.
So having watched the line of Griffiths' putt, Moseley on almost exactly the same line, can he do likewise? Not hit it hard enough.
No, I think he had the line, Gary, didn't he? He just needed a bit more pace there. First putt of the day, when there's a bit of length in it, quite often a bit tentative, but solid par for him to start.
Yeah, you don't want to kick off with a silly 3 putt on the first, do you?
No, definitely not. That doesn't set a good tone for the day.
Back to the hole-in-one man, James Moore. He followed his ace at the 2nd with a par at the 3rd.
And just coming out of the semi-rough there, was able to reduce the amount of spin, which worked in his favour on that hole.
Now this is a bit awkward, but he's played it very nicely. Difficult when you're coming out of that first cut of rough up over the fringe, but well negotiated and should be easy tap in.
Well, the last time we saw this hole, we saw James Moore making a hole-in-one. This time it's Matt Moseley. Oh, and he might make it too.
Yeah, another quality iron shot there.
So Moore from pin high, 16-footer. Bit fierce there with that one.
Yeah, slides by on the low side and left himself a little bit of work. And Moseley, after that cracking tee shot in, can he convert?
Yes, he can. And back to one behind. Always seems to be at least one Welshman up there every single week on the EuroPro Tour this season.
Yeah, there's some very good Welsh players this season, and there's always been some good Welsh players. When you look through the history, Wales has produced some excellent golfers.
James Moore finishing off for his par at the 4th. So his hole-in-one at the 2nd really shook things up, but a good response from Griffiths and Moseley as they both make an early birdie to stay within 1. Chris Lloyd has opened up with 4 straight pars and is joined on 10 under by Adam Hodkinson, who's had 7 birdies already today in his final round. So on a day when 4 started out tight at the top of our leaderboard, it's James Moore with a stunning hole-in-one on the 2nd, who's grabbed the lead in the COBRA PUMA Golf Championship.
Welcome back to Hawkstone Park. I'm fortunate to be catching up with YouTube sensation Pete Finch. Now, you played in the tournament with us, you've done some videos. Can you just tell us a bit about what it is you do?
Yeah, so I've got one of the biggest golf YouTube channels in the world now, which is slightly strange to say, but and also quite a large presence on other social media. So I do coaching videos, I do playing videos, reviews, equipment, tests, pretty much anything to do with golf, and then upload it, and people watch for some reason. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm not going to start questioning it.
And you've come back from injury. This is your first competition after a long layoff with a wrist injury. So how did you find it?
You know what, I was nervous, shall we say, just trying to keep it clean. I was very, very nervous on the first tee. I mean, I've not literally played a competition in almost 5 months now, and it was surprising how well I hit it. My big problem this week was just on the greens. I wasn't, when you're out of competition for a while and all of a sudden you're over those putts for birdie, you're over those putts for par, you can tell you've not played in a long time, and that's what I struggle with this week. Apart from the last 4 holes, if we carried on for another 28 after that, I could have made the cut, I think.
But 2 rounds of 73 is still very respectable. But we've seen a couple of 62s. The leaders are well into double digits. Just how impressed have you been with the standard here on the EuroPro Tour?
Yeah, very impressed. I mean, when you look at I mean, especially today, the course was perfect pretty much. It was set up in a way that if you are hitting it well and you are putting it well, you can get a good score. There's absolutely no doubt. You can chase a very, very good score out there. But because of the way that the course is set up, you can have some big numbers if you're not careful. But at the end of the day, you can play the easiest course in the world. Shooting a 62 is really good going, and to shoot a 62 out there today is fantastic. It's
been a pleasure to have you here this week at Hawkstone Park. Well played, and hopefully we see you back on the EuroPro Tour again.
Hope so. Thank you.
Cheers, Pete.
Cheers. Thank you.
Well, 273s after 5 months out is good going, so we may well be seeing more of them in times to come. Now, Curtis Griffiths has birdied the third to join James Moore at the top on 12 under. Mosley's par at the third keeps him 1 stroke back. And look at Matthew Court, leader of the race to Desert Springs, who's still in with an outside chance after his 5th birdie of the day at the 14th. So Griffiths now looking to build on that birdie at the third.
Tall man, good swing, towering ball flight. Bit of control on the ball there, but not the direction he was looking for.
The swing that doesn't look like it would let you down too often, though, that one, is it?
No, nice and solid, simple.
As we go across Billy Hemstock with this 5-footer. Very nicely done.
Yeah.
Another neat player, Billy.
Yeah, and it's his first birdie of the day, and it's a very good one because it's normally a par 5, that hole, so he's done really well to birdie that.
And Griffiths with this mammoth putt across the green from pin high.
Greens have been rolling beautifully this week, and you see there on that ball never left the surface. It was beautifully prepared. Some great work being done by the ground staff.
Ashley Chester's 4 under for the day. Would have loved to win on his home course, but doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Yeah, safely finds the target, but not quite the week he was looking for.
Mosley now with a chance to grab a share of the lead. Never gave that one a chance, did he?
About 2 out of 10, I think that was worth.
Yeah, well, he cleans it up, but yeah, very disappointing, slightly strange first putt for him.
As I was saying, he is a Welsh player. A number of those have won on the tour this season. His role model, Henrik Stenson, well, not a bad one to have after the way he played at Royal Troon in the Open. And as he's been telling Kit, he's been in good form.
I found a bit of form last week. I took the previous week off to get a bit of practice in and just try to finish strong in the season and make a move up the race to Desert Springs. It was tough to take that week off, knowing that there was only 5 left. But I thought if I could take 1 off and leave myself with 4 tournaments, maybe find some form, there was always a chance of moving up there, getting in the mix again.
And going into the final round, you're tied at 10 under par with 3 other guys. It's really tight, really compact up there. So do you just try and stay in your own bubble for the final round?
Yeah, I think I just got to go out there and do what I've done the last couple of weeks and hope to push forward and make some putts like I did yesterday. Yeah, especially with so many guys in the mix, you just got to go out there and try and stick to your own game as much as you can because there's so many people that could win today.
Here's one of them, perhaps. Chris Lloyd, all par so far for him.
Yeah, just a controlled wedge shot in here. Looking to get this close, which he does. Good effort there, Chris.
Great chance to make his first birdie of the day.
So Chester's trying to salvage his par. Pretty straight this one. No trouble. And a par secured.
Closing 67 for him. Only played 3 events this season before now. Tied 18th, tied 4th, and runner-up at East Sussex National, where he lost a playoff to Curtis Griffiths. And Lloyd needed that, really, to keep in touch, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He needed to get something going, and he rolled that one in beautifully.
Ian Murray, 3rd shot on the par 5 10th.
He was out in 33. He'll be only one behind if he can make this one.
As you can hear, a little disgruntled with himself.
He's doing his own commentary there.
It is, yeah. Left it short again. Oh dear, I don't know. Back to the drawing board.
Yeah, and isn't it always the way when you feel it's bang on line? Quite often it is just a fraction short.
First of the par 5s on the course. One of the players of the season so far on the EuroPro Tour, Billy Hemstock.
Yes, he played very well this season. Had a couple of course records earlier on in the season. Been a good year.
Now, Griffiths had his first bogey of the day at the 5th. Not an ideal position here now at the next.
Just chasing that one out with a low iron, and he's done very well indeed. Would have been just looking to find somewhere on or on the edge of the putting surface, which he's done. So maybe just steady the ship a little bit with that one.
Hemstock looking to birdie the 8th for the 2nd day in a row. And again, he needs this really to stay in any sort of contention. Oh, nicely done.
Yeah, a little skip in his step.
Billy Hemstock, as we say, one of the players of the season. He's had 4 wins in his career on the EuroPro Tour. Cites Quail Hollow as his favourite course. That'll be the venue for the US PGA next year. And let's hear what he's been saying to Kit Alexander.
I've played some good stuff this year. Obviously great to get the win and to be in contention quite a few times. So it's some good stuff. Sort of hit and miss at times, but it's been good.
If you did get the win today, you'd be the 2nd man with 2 wins this season. Do you think that would just about wrap up a top 5 spot?
I imagine it would, yeah. I guess the most important thing for me today is just to stay in the present and enjoy the day and play some good golf.
Here's another man who's won on the EuroPro already this season, Curtis Griffiths, looking to get back the shot he dropped at the previous hole.
Yeah, another long putt up and over the brow of the hill. He's given it a chance, but it's slid a little bit past. A bit of work for him there.
I can't believe, Scott, we've got this far into the commentary without mentioning your illustrious history on this course.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, I got fond memories and a strong affinity with Hawkstone Park. Growing up myself just down the road at Shrewsbury, and spent many a day up at Hawkstone Park here.
You're obviously too modest to mention that this was where you had your first professional win.
Yes, back in the day, the first time the MasterCard Tour as it was then, 1998. My first professional victory here, which was something special for me. That's going to leave a little tester for Surrey there.
Yeah, not the best of starts for him. He birdied the 4th, but a couple of bogeys early on as well.
Griffiths. Yeah, he had that line with the one coming up the green. It didn't break in, and it stayed pretty straight, as we could see. So he nearly got himself out of trouble from under the trees, but it all ends up with a drop shot.
And it's 2 of those in a row now for him. So this is a chance for Moore to regain the outright lead.
Yeah, he's judged that pretty well from there, electing to use the putter. Getting within the 3-foot radius that most guys look for.
And then back to Surrey, who's left himself with this awkward little shot here at the 8th.
He played that very well. Kept his balance, able to use the contours, got it down close.
Alex Wrigley, runner-up at the Oxfordshire last week behind Mark Lasky. looking for a bit of magic here on the 10th. Oh, and he's got it.
Yeah, he took the pin out there for his shot. You could tell he fancied it.
Yeah.
Positive thoughts and a great result.
James Moore just to hopefully tidy up for his par.
Yeah, he started the week in 18th place in the race to Desert Springs, so a big chance for him today to make a significant move up.
Steve Surrey from Cumberwell Park, outside Bath. Nicely done.
Yeah, and he's birdied that hole in every round now. And Bradley Neal could achieve the same thing on the 10th because he's birdied it in rounds 1 and 2. And now in round 3 as well. He was out in 33. He's made a good start to the back 9. And that gets him back to 1 off the lead, which is now shared by James Moore and Chris Lloyd, who's had his first birdie of the day at the 6th. Peter Tarver-Jones dropped a shot at the 1st, but he's had 5 birdies since then, so he's in that group at 10 under. Now, we took some time to catch up with the men behind Hawkstone and to assess just how important it is to have the tour here for a 2nd year running.
That's hugely important. As a golf club, you know, we've got a great setting. It's a great course to play. And to have such professionals come around, it's just fantastic. You know, the youngsters in the area, they can come and watch, they follow around, and really they do have a great time. They learn such a lot from these players. It really is great fun to have them here.
Hawkstone was bought by a private investor in June of this year, so we're really lucky that we're heading into a period of investment in the property. Obviously one of the big things for us is people who come in, golf breaks and society days. So we're really pleased that we're heading into a period now where we'll be starting some refurbishment works, some works on the golf course for improvements as well. So the whole team here are really excited and we're really looking forward to our bright future. And if we get EuroPro back next year, which of course is a possibility, you know, that hopefully they'll really experience a difference as well in the facilities that we provide on site.
Plenty of shots being picked up, eagles and birdies abound, but 2 men who are locked together at the top, James Moore and Chris Lloyd, lead the way here at Hawkstone Park. Welcome back to the final round of the COBRA PUMA Golf Championship at Hawkstone Park. On a day when a whole host of players have made their challenge for this title, Liam Murray is up there challenging. He's just birdied the par 5 14th to go to 11 under, matching the score of Moore and Lloyd, who have just come through the 7th. 4 more players a shot back on 10 under and 3 more at 9 under. So just 2 shots separating our top 10 players, with plenty of golf still to go. And here we are now with one of the joint leaders, James Moore.
Yeah, 2nd shot to this par 5. Hybrid wood. Firing it in, quite a tight hole this, over water to the green.
And back to Billy Hemstock on the 12th, pitching across the water here. Beautifully judged for length.
Let's go out to Kit on the 8th hole.
No one's ever won a golf tournament and been unlucky, and Moore has had his share of luck right here on the par 5. His 2nd shot went way right, but this is the lie he's pulled. He's on relatively short grass. He's got a beautiful little avenue straight down to the pin. The only thing he's got to worry about is keeping it underneath the overhanging branches and trying to stop it on the green. Bearing in mind where we are, there's water just 3 yards further. There's trees just behind. He's pulled an absolute blinder here.
Yeah, this hole has been good to him so far this week. 3 under for the first 2 rounds, birdie in the first round, eagle in the second.
Well, I think he needs to buy a lottery ticket after where this ball's finished. That is quite remarkable to get that break. Can he make the most of it?
It's a Sheffield man, James Moore, yet another good player coming from that part of the world. His favourite course, Sunningdale, and his golfing idol, like so many of his generation, is Tiger Woods. And ahead of the final round, he spoke to Kit.
You were pretty unlucky earlier this year at Montrose, starting the final round with a one-shot lead. 5 under par after 15. It would be reasonable to assume you were still in the lead, but you looked at the leaderboard and you were actually 2 behind after Billy Hemstock's incredible run. How do you kind of process that, deal with it and get over it to move on the rest of the year?
It's just golf, isn't it? It's just one of those things, it happens. He's obviously had a great round, Paul did as well, obviously. I was playing pretty good, but not as good as them. It just shows you can never sort of stop trying. You never know what's going to happen.
Irrespective of what they did, you went out there and you were comfortably under par when you started the tournament with the lead.
Yeah, I think obviously I've been there a lot of times now, so I'm getting more and more comfortable every time. And eventually I'll hopefully get over the line.
You're already guaranteed that you're going to be at Desert Springs this year. Has that allowed you to freewheel a little bit through the rest of the season?
Yeah, a little bit, but I think obviously you're looking at the top 5. If you're in the top 30, you're sort of looking up at it. So I've been playing pretty good and just been making silly mistakes here and there, maybe pushing when I shouldn't do. So you've got to be obviously patient. Obviously I've got a chance today, so I think I'll leaderboard watch this time, and so I don't get any mistakes like last time. But no, we'll just see how it goes.
Are there any specific holes where the strategy could change?
Obviously you've got the 2 par 5s and the 8th as well. I'm not as long as some of these long boys, so if I get a good drive away, I'll be pushing whether I can have a go at the green in 2. So if I'm chasing, I might have a go, but obviously if not, I'll try and sort of old man them and pitch and putt.
You said you opened with an opening 62, tying the course record. It must give you a lot of good vibes today, knowing that you know how to shoot a good score.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, it's hard to go and shoot one after another round after the 62, obviously, and a lot of the lads up there have shot good rounds, so hopefully I'm feeling a bit sort of edgy.
His hometown is Sheffield, and Scott, that's sort of becoming one of the golfing capitals of the world these days.
Yeah, some great talent coming out of that area of the country.
Danny Willett, of course, Masters champion, and Matthew Fitzpatrick, who's on the Ryder Cup team as well.
Yeah, it's still a bit of a battle for James Moore there, having chipped out from under the trees just over the green. And he'll have that putt that we saw in just a moment.
Hemstock to make his birdie. And another one drops. Very, very good.
Keeps him right in the hunt for his 2nd win of the season.
So back to Moore. This 6.5 footer to save his par.
Yeah, and after that incredible break from the 2nd shot, he would have been bitterly disappointed not to make the par.
And that keeps him tied for the lead. Bradley Neal, winner of the Amateur Championship a couple of years ago at age 18. Trying to make his way now in the pro game. He's played those par 5s really well this week, 8 under for the par 5s. It's a 3-way tie at the top. 3 Englishmen, Liam Murray, James Moore and Chris Lloyd. But look how many players are gathered there, just 1 shot back. A few of them coming towards the end of their rounds, but Griffiths and Mosley still with plenty of time to make this title theirs.
Yeah, it's a very compact leaderboard, as we keep saying. It's going to make for interesting viewing on the back 9. As we watch Mosley sending one in here. Safely, well, he was safely onto the edge of the green, just run off.
Mosley has got so unlucky there. He's pin high with his 2nd shot, but he's just run off the edge of the green and into this thicker rough. There's a massive clump of grass behind the ball. It's going to be so hard to judge how this ball is going to react and how it's going to come off, especially so close to the pin.
Well, we'll return to him in a moment, but first, Chris Lloyd. This is the longest hole on the course, the 10th, but he's birdied it in both rounds so far.
Man of experience, Mr. Lloyd, European Tour and Challenge Tour experience. And he safely guards that one away from the trouble on the right.
Let's go ahead to the 14th with John.
Well, we're here at the 14th. It's a par 5, just over 500 yards. It's a dogleg from right to left, but the trouble is all about the 2nd shot. 260 to get over this bunker on the left-hand side as well. If you're 6 yards just off this fairway, you're an even thicker bundi over there, and there's no chance of you getting to the green in 2. But if you've hit a good drive, you've hit the fairway, it's going to entice you to have a pop at it. and it is a short par 5, so I think the boys might. You've got a massive bunker wrapping around that whole back of this green as well, just swoops round like a big U-bend, and all this water comes in at the front and all the way down the right. It is a little tough cooking, especially if the wind blows. Might cause a bit of havoc for the old insane in the membrane for a few of the boys on the tour. Now, I've got 250 yards left in, second shot, down the right-hand side, no breeze. So I got my 2-iron out. I'm going to try and fly it all the way and stop it dead. It's not the biggest of targets to aim at, so you've got to be bang on the button. But this is a great opportunity for the boys to make birdie, if not an eagle. Well, I've crunched it. It's drawing back on target. Now, has it got the beans to get up there? Oh, just over the water, just shy of the green. It's running back a little bit, but it's dry, and that is where you want to be.
If only John could find some enthusiasm, he'd be quite something, wouldn't he? Now, Steve Surrey at the shortest of the par 5s that we've just seen John at.
Yep, firing in with the wood here. Over the water, as John said. And yeah, there is a little bit more room there than it looks. And that's in a good spot.
So, at the 10th, the par 5, James Moore playing over the water. Looks as though he's just trying to slide one in from left to right. It's okay, just a straight pull left, but pin high.
There were 16 eagles at this hole yesterday. Only 2 so far today.
And here's Mosley from that sticky lie that Kit described, and he's played that very well indeed.
And he doesn't join that group of eagle makers, but he has set up a chance to join that group sharing the lead.
Oh, Bradley Neal's 4th shot. Neal's had a bit of trouble here. Coming in. He's got it on the green. May just be able to get out with a bogey.
So Mosley, after that fine effort from the sticky lie, converts it.
Yeah, they're all piling up at -11. There's one of the players in that pile-up. Hasn't actually had a birdie yet today, Moore, although of course he did have a hole-in-one at the second.
Traditional little chip and run there. And he's judged that pretty much to perfection.
Yeah, I think that should secure an elusive birdie.
Now this would really get Surrey into serious contention if he could somehow make this one.
Yeah, he's opted to use the putter there. And he's judged that pretty well. A little bit slower than he thought, perhaps.
It just shows the quality of these fringes, the amount of times we're seeing the putter used from several feet off the green, as we watch Chris Lloyd doing exactly the same.
Yeah, greens are running at a good speed, and the fringes are pretty immaculate, like you say, Gary, so the putter is always a good option.
Neal to limit the damage here on 15. In danger of falling right out of contention here.
Yeah, and the double bogey, it looks like, coming up for Neal on the back 9, which is putting him firmly in reverse.
9th tee, Matthew Mosley launching one up into the sky. Has he got the right club? Yeah, not bad. Middle of the green.
There behind the tee there, looks like the old windmill. This course used to be called the Windmill when it first opened, been changed to the Championship. And that is the double bogey for Neal. And he will be looking now, try and recoup those 2 on the closing holes.
Chris Lloyd is in a 4-way tie for the lead, but this is a chance to break out of that. And he does by birdieing the 10th for the 3rd day in a row.
Yeah, strong player, Chris.
Yeah, 24 years of age, represents the Kendallshire. His favourite course, Le Golf National in Paris, Ryder Cup venue in a couple of years' time. Big fan of Bath Rugby. And he's been talking to Kit.
I mean, last week was a bit of an off week for me. But yeah, running up to that, 2 thirds and an 8th, and then obviously placed well at the moment. So yeah, the game's there.
You've been on the European Tour previously. How close do you feel you are to your game when it's at its best?
It's not far away at all. Like I've said, the form's been pretty consistent. I think for me, it's just a case of holding a few putts. I mean, I've played pretty similar, probably over the last couple of months. And yeah, the rounds where I've played well, the putts have dropped, and whenever I've sort of shot level par around that score, it's just purely the putt has been cold, and that's it.
And a win today would catapult you right into those top 5 in the order of merit.
Yeah, it's important, but I think one of the things I've learned over time is to not live and breathe through every round shot or tournament. I mean, this is going to be a long career. We're out here for probably 20 plus years, so you just have to take it day by day really, and not really think too far ahead. I've played relatively conservative, sort of the first 6 or 7 holes. Personally, I think they're quite tricky. And then once you sort of get towards the turn, you can get the driver out a little bit more and you can open your shoulders a little bit. So for me, it's just a case of keeping the bogeys off the card. And then when you get to the turn, that's when you really try and make your score.
So let's come back to the 10th. Quite a few of those in contention of birdie this hole today, and it looks pretty certain that James Moore is going to do that too.
Yeah, distinctive putting style of Moore. Working well for him at the moment.
Steve Surrey looking to complete back-to-back birdies. Had a couple of top 10s already this season. And if he keeps this run going, who knows what might happen today.
Yeah, again, another man with some experience, played down on the Sunshine Tour for the last couple of seasons.
Now, Mosley got a bit too firm with his birdie putt here at the 9th, so he's left with this for his par. Oh, and he knew straight away what had happened.
Yeah, frustration as it slides by. When you're out there final day in these conditions, you do feel that guys around you are making lots of birdies, so the bogeys need to stay away.
Well, Moore and Lloyd both birdied the 10th, so they're 12 under. Murray one behind on 11.
So let's have a little look at this par 3 17th, the Mill Pond, 177 yards. The pond just in front of the tee really isn't going to come into play obviously for these players. Quite rising up to the green, 3 big bunkers on the right to be avoided. Mostly though you mustn't go off to the left because it'll bounce down that bank into the hedge, and the green itself has a couple of big slopes on it, so a tricky par 3 but not the most difficult.
So Court really just needs to try and finish with 2 birdies and hope for the best. It would be unlikely to be enough, but it wouldn't be unthinkable.
Yeah, it's been another solid performance for Matt. And a solid shot in there, not threatening the pin, but it is a tricky hole when the wind's blowing.
So he's targeting finishing at 12 under. This man is there at the moment.
Yeah, more from 149. Again, a yardage you would expect to get pretty close. You won't be too happy with that one, I don't think.
Billy Hemstock, 3 shots behind at the moment. Second shot to 15.
Because of that 3-shot deficit, he needs a really big finish. And maybe that charge is going to start here. Great shot.
Joint leader, Chris Lloyds. Second shot on 12.
Hasn't dropped a shot today. In fact, he's only dropped 1 shot in the whole tournament. That was at the 6th yesterday.
Very aggressive shot in there. Down the breeze, maybe slightly misjudged it. Certainly attacking golf, though.
Yeah, very strong man, isn't he, Scott?
Yeah, he is indeed. You can see he likes his rugby.
Now, in all likelihood, Court really needs this to go in if he's to have any outside hope of winning. And probably not going to be today. If there's one man who doesn't need a win, if he can be in such a position, it is Court, given what a strong season he's had. And it's going to be another good finish for him.
So Moore from a fairly lengthy range, again for birdie.
Be 2 in a row if he makes it. He'd be doing well from that distance. It's got a chance. He's done it. Back-to-back birdies.
Looking very calm and collected about the whole situation.
Yeah, it's a real bonus when you roll one in like that. It's not really expected. Fantastic. And can Billy hole out from much shorter range? He certainly can. And, you know, he has played extremely well this season, as Mr. Hemstock.
So we just saw Moore go to 13 under. Can Lloyd now join him there? Not quite, so he'll go one behind.
Yeah, it was a good effort, but when you've just seen your playing partner drain one, it can knock the wind out your sails a little bit.
So those consecutive birdies on 12 and 13, taking James Moore to 13 under and now into the outright lead by 1 stroke over Chris Lloyd. Liam Murray a shot further back. Now the Tour attracts support from a variety of sponsors, all keen to be associated with the future stars of the sport. For some, it's been a long-term plan.
We're really impressed with how the EuroPro Tour go about their business. You know, they have similar visions to us, and we're really about kind of trying to bring new golfers into the game. If you look at what these guys are doing, they're giving a platform to these young, hungry pros, and we want to be part of that and help them get onto that platform and really get into the European and PGA Tours and kind of take it from there.
There's still just a shot in it, and it's that man James Moore who holds the narrowest of advantages here at Hawkstone Park in Shropshire. Welcome back. We're heading towards the business end of the season on the EuroPro Tour and heading towards the business end of the final round in the COBRA PUMA Golf Championship at Hawkstone Park. All the leaders and contenders on the back nine now, and it's James Moore leading on 13 under with 6 to play, 1 ahead of Chris Lloyd, Liam Murray just 2 back, and a big group at 10 under, some of them though perhaps running out of holes to make a real challenge. And among that group on 10 under is Matthew Mosley. But he's run into a bit of trouble at the 10th, looking for his ball here. Coming off a bogey at the 9th, which completed an outward 9 of 35 for him. So we'll check in on him again in a moment, but let's go back to Steve Surrey, looking for his 3rd birdie in as many holes. And let's go back to Kit on Mosley's problems at the 10th.
Mosley's first tee shot here on 10 found the really gnarly rough down the left-hand side. After 5 minutes of searching, it couldn't be found. He's had to walk back to the tee, the walk no golfer wants, to hit his 3rd from there. He's found the left-hand rough with his 2nd one though, so he does have a chance, if he plays the rest of this hole really well, of saving a bogey.
And in such a tight tournament as this, Gary, a mistake like that can be fatal in terms of winning it.
Yeah, there's so many people up near the top of the leaderboard that I'm afraid that losing your golf ball at this stage is probably curtains.
Now Matthew Court, who's made the cut in all 7 events he's played this season, 2 wins of course. Top 10 in 6 events.
Familiar, solid swing, good rhythm from Matt.
More from Kit now on 13 this time.
Our leader Moore's been rewarded for the aggressive play off the tee. He's got just 54 yards in here. It's a little bit of a tricky flicky shot, but the wind's back into his face. That will help him. More importantly, he's not going anywhere near that bunker.
So Moore has birdied 10, he's birdied 12, so he's just starting to build some momentum at just the right time. And it looks like he's keeping that momentum going.
Yeah, it was, because that was quite awkward with the ball on the edge of the first cut of the rough. So we have a look at Steve Surrey.
Looking for another birdie. Well, he started the week 42nd in the race to Desert Springs, so a good day today could secure a place at the Tour Championship. 34 years of age now, attached to Cumberwell Park, where of course the Tour was earlier in the season. Been a pro for quite a few years now, and ahead of the final round he also spoke to Kit.
Steve, you've been playing well this year, 2 top 7 finishes from just 7 starts on tour. How come you haven't played a little bit more?
Just because I was trying to be a bit selective in the course. I've done well on the past, and sort of played a lot in Africa at the start of the year, so I needed to have a sort of few extra weeks off and refresh the batteries rather than playing every week. on a couple of courses I've not done so well in the past. So just trying to be a bit more sort of selective.
How much of a factor is that, Scott, when a touring pro is making his schedule for the year, picking courses where he's done well in the past?
Yeah, I think it's one of the things you always look for. Those become your favourite tournaments or your favourite venues. You've obviously got that added bit of confidence from some results in the past, so they go in there first normally.
Griffiths has fallen 3 behind now, so could do with making his birdie there on 10, and he's got a good chance of doing so.
Billy Hemstock on the short 16th, just with a little half a wedge, throwing the ball up and in, and very nice control.
Took a while for Chris Lloyd to get going today, but it's starting to happen for him now. And it's continuing to.
Yeah, just drops in the front door, but he'll take it.
That cord, as you can see, just run over the back of the green, and again, as we've seen so often, putter from just off the green and nicely cozied down whole side.
He's just played so solidly throughout the season and doesn't really drop many shots. In any of the tournaments we've seen him doing well in, doesn't tend to make many mistakes at all. His only dropped shot today was at the 9th. It was only his second bogey of the week. It's a round of 67 for Court, and yet another high placing in store for him.
And more. Can he follow Lloyd in for the birdie? Different approach to the hole, same result.
And in doing so, he immediately regains the outright lead after Lloyd had joined him. So with 13 under now leading, Griffiths really needed that birdie to stay in touch. Gets to 11. Can Hemstock do the same now?
Not too much break on this one, just keep it inside the hole.
Yeah, frustrating there. Very short approach shot. Would have been putting a 3 down on his card, really, in his mind.
Just as I was talking about Chris Lloyd really getting things motoring, he's run into problems here on 14.
Yeah, let's take a look at this 14th. 502 yards, par 5, slight dogleg to the left. Most guys looking to drive it towards and over this left bunker at 260, 265, leaving themselves a shot in from around about 190 to the front of the green. All the trouble short and to the right. Also, if you go way too far off to the left, you will be in trouble, but really for these guys with a long iron approach, looking for the front of the green in 2, give themselves a chance of the eagle, but the definite birdie.
And seeing what he can do on this hole that Scott's told us about, James Moore.
Last of the par 5s on the course.
And that, well, hopefully it's dry. Woo. God, that needed every ounce of Chris Lloyd's strength, and as you could see, he wasn't able to play from that lie towards the hole.
Yeah, you wonder how someone without Lloyd's strength would have got the ball out of there at all, looking how much of an effort it was for him.
He'd have got it out by taking a drop.
I guess so.
Well, pin high left, but down the slope for that one. That'll be tricky. Now Lloyd just needs to find the heart of the green now, really, in 3 after that erratic tee shot. Did very well to get it back to the middle of the fairway, as we said. Well, it's safe. It's not middle of the green, but it's front edge and it's safe.
Well, it's a beautiful scene here at 18. You know, the boys are going to be coming up this final hole and thinking, right, birdie to win it, birdie to tie it and force a playoff. You just never know. But it's a generous par 4, 396 yards, all uphill from start to finish. but the danger lies right up there on the green, just like the fourth really. You've got this big swooping bank all round the back to round the front on the left-hand side, and I hope on final day the PGA and EuroPro decide to put that pin right there, because I tell you what, it could cause havoc for the players. Now, I've got 129 yards, it's uphill, probably playing another club, so I opted to go for a little soft 9 and trying to get my club in right, because it is so vital on this last hole, especially with this tight pin position here on the left-hand side. You might just think under the cosh, looking at the pin, if it is there on the left, do I bail out to the right and try and hold a big beauty to win it, or do you take it on and bring in all the danger? Well, me, who dares wins. So anyway, come on then. The pin ain't there today, but it could be there final day. Let's give it a go. Well, it's bang on my target. Now, is it the right club? Oh, I've seen the bounce. I think it is the perfect club. That could be a little tap in for a birdie for the winner, and a little winner-roo, and 10 grand in there, skyrocket.
Well, Peter Tarver-Jones isn't going to be the winner today, but he is having a good final round. A pretty consistent season. He's only missed 1 cut out of 11 events so far.
He looked like he's going straight at the pin with that one. Steady on. Does run away off the back edge.
Now Kit is with the leader at the 14th.
Well, if I was James Moore, I would definitely be playing the lottery tonight, again on a par 5. He's got a little bit lucky, to be fair. As you can see, if he hadn't have pulled it slightly this far left, he was definitely in the water. But now he's hung on. It's lying pretty nicely. He'll be a little bit careful when he takes his stance. He won't want to disturb the grass and have it roll back in. But now it's a relatively straightforward pitch. Again, the wind's into his face, so he can add a little bit of control, get it stopping quickly on the green. But what a slice of luck, could still make birdie from here.
He's certainly getting the breaks today, Scott. Do you remember getting any particular breaks on your way to winning the PGA at Wentworth all those years ago?
Well, I think, yeah, 1 or 2 things that go your way. Maybe not as dramatic as it has been for Moore today. Maybe just holding a putt at the right time, or a ball just hanging onto the fairway. But that's 2 fantastic breaks for him today.
He's got a chance now of his 4th birdie in 5 holes. As we go back to Griffiths, winner at East Sussex National just a couple of weeks ago.
Looks as though it's going a little left, and indeed it is. That's yeah, not so good. Looks at that. Did I line up in the wrong place? Did I pull it? I don't know. Not quite sure what happened there.
Well, Murray could really do with chipping one in here.
Yeah, this will be relatively slick once it reaches the putting surface. Just got to get it on line.
Go on in. Go on in.
Which he has.
Wow.
Oh, he had a real go.
Cheers, thank you.
Winner of the Pro-Am here at the start of the week with a 66, and he's carried that into the main tournament.
Yeah, he thought he got that one. He definitely thought he got that one.
We just knock him in, Lee. Yeah, mate, carry on.
But I think approaching the shot from the tee, he would have taken a 3, don't you think, Gary?
Yeah, I think so, because that, as you described, it was a bit slippery coming down there, and it would have been very easy for this one to slide 10 feet past, so he'll take that little tap in.
Chris Lloyd had a great chance to win earlier this season at Burr Hill in the IFX Championship. 1 behind going into the final round, but crashed to an 80. But he's held up much better today under the pressure. A little tester left there, though, for his par.
Now, Tarver-Jones again just up this slight slope to get it onto the putting surface, as he judged it well. Certainly got the pace right, not quite the line, but a safe par.
2-time winner on the EuroPro Tour in previous seasons, Peter Tarver-Jones.
Interesting, we've seen a few guys putt and chip from the back of that green, and they've all just left it about 12 inches to the left there, Gary. Obviously they're seeing a bit of break from left to right.
Yeah, there's been none. We haven't really seen any movement at all from left to right. Just runs straight down there. Nice scorecard though for Tarver-Jones. 67, good score.
Yeah, same as yesterday. Only dropped shot was that one at the opening hole. Griffiths starting to run out of holes now.
Yeah, another solid short game shot that we're seeing today. Guys really are playing some lovely little delicate shots around the greens.
Moore for his hat-trick of birdies. And a bit of daylight now, 2 ahead of the field.
He's certainly taken advantage of the bits of luck that he's had and holds some good putts. He's really in there fighting.
Griffiths to complete a decent up and down. And with the lead going to 14 under, he really couldn't afford not to make his par there.
Yeah, now Chris Lloyd just trying to clean up, get out of here with a par. It's been a testing hole for him after that tee shot, but he's done it well.
So birdies on 12, 13 and 14, taking James Moore to 15 under par. Chris Lloyd is the only player now within 4 of the lead. He's 13 under, also with 4 to play. Court and Tarver Jones are the joint clubhouse leaders after they both shot 67. Here at Hawkstone, a clear leader has emerged, with James Moore stringing together a series of birdies as he edges towards the winning line in the COBRA PUMA Golf Championship. Welcome back to the final round of the COBRA PUMA Golf Championship at Hawkstone Park. James Moore very much in control of things. He's having a really good run over this back 9 and he's 2 shots clear of Chris Lloyd. Curtis Griffiths has birdied the 13th for the 3rd day in a row to keep himself in the hunt. Liam Murray has probably run out of time now, barring a real collapse from the players in front of him.
Second shot for Moore into 15. Our leader just looking to keep things solid on these last few holes, find the greens.
Let's go back out to Kit.
Moore's taken control of this tournament, but having given himself the perfect angle from the right-hand side of the fairway to this left-hand pin position, he'll be disappointed with that approach. He's just run through the back of the green downwind. Fortunately, it's a pretty straightforward one. It's nicely mown the apron here, so we may even see him hit putter here. There's no need to chip it.
Murray now finishing off his round. It isn't going to be his day in terms of winning the title, but started the week 74th in the race to Desert Springs, so a great chance now to make it into the top 60. Get to that Tour Championship.
Yeah, but that was a loose tee shot to find that bunker, unable to reach the green. So now a good up and down required. As you can see, quite a steep lip on this bunker. Perfect contact required, and he just got it slightly heavy. Doesn't get the yardage required.
So Curtis Griffiths' second shot, played with a fairway wood out of the semi-rough.
Already birdied one of the par 5s on the back 9. Would be very timely now to birdie the other one.
Now Lloyd looking to put some pressure on his partner, the leader. Get some of these iron shots in tight if he can. And that'll do.
Every shot counts for so much now on the last hole with Liam Murray. Got a chance for a big finish. All counts for money and points in the race to Desert Springs. He could be throwing a few away here.
It's interesting how many people have found it difficult, even from not very far away. They found it very difficult not to go over the back of this green.
Yeah, I think with it being slightly uphill and the breeze blowing, just a little bit of misjudgment going on, and obviously guys don't want to be short. It's a much easier up and down from over the back than it is from short of the green.
Moore from just off the back of the 15th green for his 4th birdie in a row. Oh, he's on fire today.
Well, that is incredible stuff at this stage of the game to keep that run going. Just when Chris Lloyd thought he was going to be putting some pressure on him.
And when you find yourself responding to the situation as well as this, Scott, it must just build more and more confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he must be feeling he's on a run. It's all going his way. The putts are flowing. and they're dropping in for him.
Griffiths setting up a really good chance for a birdie there on 14.
Liam Murray opting to chip the ball onto the green. And a good shot, but it's a struggle, and it's going to be at least a 5.
Yeah, you can see he just ran through the fringe into the semi-rough, so putter no good.
Well, Moore is setting such a hot pace now that Lloyd needs to make this, or the gap will be 3 shots.
Yeah, must make putt, as you said, and it slides by. Cruel stuff when they touch the hole and don't drop.
I think Moore's hit him with 1 or 2 body blows. He's putted first in these situations from further away several times today and knocked them all in, and that really does knock the stuffing out of you.
And I think this is another must-make putt for Griffiths. And he has made it. Back-to-back birdies for him for the first time today. Griffiths now joint second with Lloyd. Still very young, only 22 years of age, attached to Wentworth. Golfing idol Adam Scott, the 2013 Masters champion. And of course, he's won the Matchroom Championship himself this season. Let's hear what he's had to say to Kit.
Curtis, you won 2 weeks ago and you're right back in contention again now. You must be really happy with where your game is.
Yeah, I'm really pleased. I've been playing nicely sort of all year. But yeah, it's just coming together nicely now.
What happened after the win? You missed the cut the following week, a bit unusually after a consistent season. Was there a bit too much celebration, maybe?
No, it wasn't too bad, really. It was more, I don't know, just things didn't go my way and didn't turn out to be as planned.
How important is it, though, not to put too much pressure on yourself looking ahead and just stay in the moment out on the course today?
Yeah, it is. I mean, where I won 2 weeks ago, I sort of feel like I've been here now before, so it feels more relaxing this week.
Yeah, is it different this morning than it was 2 weeks ago, knowing that you've done it?
Yeah, it's definitely different. I mean, sort of under pressure, I know now that I can sort of hold out, so yeah.
And it looks like we're going to get a little bit better weather today as well. So you must be looking forward to not having to get the waterproofs out and being able to play in kind of shortish sleeves, maybe a couple of layers.
Yeah, no, that was awful weather, so hopefully the sun comes out for us today.
Does that make it a bit easier knowing that you're not going to face those challenges and you can just focus on the golf itself?
Yeah, definitely. That was a massive factor, was sort of keeping the clubs dry. And yeah, if the rain stays off, it'd be perfect.
And it was a playoff victory as well. So are you able to take more from winning in a playoff than if you'd have just won in regulation? Yeah, definitely. I mean, on that 17th hole, it could have gone either way. I mean, I was just fortunate enough to hold a good putt on the last hole and yeah, come out on top.
Yeah, par at the first extra hole was enough to win that playoff against Ashley Chesters. Now Mosley had a miserable run around the turn, dropped 4 shots in 3 holes, but he got one back at 13, and he's got another one back here now at the very next hole.
Yeah, it's a good comeback, good mental skills.
So Murray to try and salvage a bogey, which he does.
Yeah, very promising start today, couldn't quite keep it going, shoots 68. Best so far was tied 25th at Caversham Heath. He's going to improve vastly on that today. Just has to wait and see just how high up the field he's going to finish. He's tied 4th at the moment, but it looks to be a 3-way battle, and James Moore is very much in charge of that. 16 under, 3 ahead of Lloyd and Griffiths. Both still have a few holes, but they're going to need a big finish if they're to have any chance at all of claiming this COBRA PUMA Golf Championship.
So let's take a little look at this very short 317-yard 16th hole, par 4. Opportunity of a birdie towards the end of the round. Don't need a driver off the tee here. If you take a driver, you bring this bunker. We're just passing on the left and that tree. And you're better actually laying a little bit further back to allow more of a full shot with a lofted club to this sort of broad bean-shaped green, which again, if you miss to the right, would be a big chip up. And as I say, chance of a birdie if you get it in play.
Well, Steve Surrey has birdied 14 and 15.
Yeah, looking for the hat-trick. Oh, just too much spin there. taking it away off the runoff that Gary mentioned.
That double bogey on 15 really took the wind out of Bradley Neal's sails.
Eyeing it down. Tough pin to get back to, all the way back to this pin today. Very, very tough. No room behind it. Runs off the back of the green. A lot of guys coming up just a half a club short.
Back to Surrey, hasn't dropped a shot since the 7th. That could change here though. It's a tricky up and down from this position.
It certainly is, and we could see the lie was poor. He had to hit hard and then got too much club on the ball and has managed to knock it right through the green. Oh dear.
Bradley Neal looking for a birdie on 17, but it's a very difficult putt. He's left it way short.
Come on, Steve. Roll this one down, give it a chance, but leave it dead if you can, at worst. Such a short par 4, you really, really will be upset at dropping one.
You can almost make yourself feel slightly foolish when you look at it and you think, well, you know, that should almost be a given birdie, shouldn't you, Scott? End up with a bogey.
Yeah, right towards the end of the round as well.
Bradley Neal, winner of the Amateur a couple of years ago, as I was saying. Not made much impact in the pro game yet, but still only 20 years of age. Let's go to Kit on 16.
Moore's just let his tee shot slide out here to the right-hand rough, but there's no bother whatsoever. He might have thought the tree could come into play, but it's absolutely fine. He's only got 128 yards. There's a little bit of breeze, maybe a club, half a club extra than normal, but this is another good look at an approach.
Yeah, and what a charge he's putting together here. 5 under so far for his back 9.
Yeah, it's a very, very good run. He will be disappointed to have missed this fairway though, only hitting an iron from the tee to leave himself in position. But he's recovered very well. Straight over the top of the flag.
Yes, he certainly looks well in control, Scott.
Bradley Neal, big prospect from Scotland, Gary, and they need one. A real lack of good Scottish players coming through in recent times.
Yeah, it's interesting because they've actually done, when you look at some of the results in amateur events and championships, you know, they've been doing pretty well over the recent years, the Scots, but they haven't quite managed to bring a great star to the transition to the pro game.
Yeah, no Scots in the Ryder Cup team this time after Russell Knox was overlooked by Darren Clark. Now Chris Lloyd may well need to birdie all of the last 3 and surely at least 2 of them. He's given himself a chance here on 16.
Hemstock at the slightly tricky 17th today, as we said. The wind just a factor on this hole. Trying to play a very controlled shot there, you can see. Knocking it in low through the breeze. Almost reaching the back tier. But look at that one run away from the hole now.
As you rightly said, Scott, this is very difficult. If you don't get on that top tier, the slope is severe and the ball, as we could see there, is rolled back a long way. And you watch Billy make this swing, you know, it's compact, it's 3/4, it's the way he plays. But you can see the way he was going through there. He was just trying to sort of knock one down to try and get that skip up onto the back level. And nearly did it, but no cigar.
Back to your compatriot, Scott. This is Bradley Neal looking to make it all 3 rounds in the 60s.
Yeah, one of the better shots we've seen into 18, but slightly timid with the putt. I think he thought it was quicker down the slope there.
And he was 3 under for his first 10 today. Fell away a bit after that, but all part of the learning process for a very young man. Only left his teenage years earlier this year. Now, James Moore, surely it isn't going to be 5 in a row, is it?
Well, you wouldn't bet against it the way things have gone, that's for sure.
Tricky putt from the back of that green. They were double breaker. Big swing at early on and then it straightens up. And as you could see, as it just ran out of steam there, it was trying to get back to the hole. But at this stage, I think Mr. Moore might be rather happy with a par.
Yeah, a couple more of those would probably be good enough.
Yeah, well, if he can keep finding fairways and greens, he's putting the pressure on Chris to attack the pins. Now Hemstock up and over, fairly large tier, then down to the hole. And once it's past the hole there, it just slides by even further, as you can see. And that'll leave him with the tester.
So Moore only making par at 16, as it were, opening the door just a bit for Lloyd, but he needs this to capitalise on that. Not to be.
Just a little bit of a misread there. Halfway down it looked like it was in, but it does just move the other way at the end.
Hemstock now, important for him to keep battling right to the end. It could be the difference between being on the Challenge Tour next season and not.
Very solid indeed there. That's a great putt to hole.
So Moore closing in on victory. 16 under with 2 to go. Chris Lloyd 13 under, but Curtis Griffiths also 13 under, perhaps a more likely challenger as he has more holes left to play. Court, Tarver, Jones and Murray all in at 10 under. Hemstock needs a birdie at the last to break out of that group. Clear daylight between James Moore and the chasing pack with just 2 to go before he can claim his first tour title. Welcome back to the final round of the COBRA PUMA Golf Championship at Hawkstone Park, where James Moore is tantalisingly close to his first ever win on the EuroPro Tour. And 16 under par with 2 holes to play. Really only 2 men who can stop him now, Chris Lloyd and Curtis Griffiths, and they're both running out of time to do so. Behind that, they're playing for the minor placings and of course the all-important prize money in the race to Desert Springs.
Well, let's take a look at the 15th hole here, one of the longest finishing holes, although these days not that long at 422. Straight hole, avoiding the bunkers down the right at 260 and 310. Just keep it down here. Guys are going to have roughly 130, 140 into this fairly generous green, just the one bunker short and left. Plenty of room to get your ball up there. And we should see some birdies here. Normally plays downwind as well, which helps.
And James Moore eagled this hole in the first round. On the way to a 62, which has set him on the way possibly to victory, but we will see. And Mosley has turned around his day with birdies on 13 and 14, and maybe he's going to make another one here on 15.
That was a good catch as well, that, when you get a divot thrown at you.
Yeah, good reactions there. Didn't want to get his trousers dirty, I think.
You're always far more likely to catch those, though, when you're playing well and on your run of momentum.
Yes, I must try and remember that.
And that's the place not to miss it on 18 for Hemstock. Looking up to the sky. Obviously misjudged the wind.
Yeah, it's been tough, that 18th today. Only 4 players have birdied it in the final round.
As we watch Griffiths, second shot to the 15th. Pitching right by the pin, but again downwind. Just not quite stopping, but a foot or 2 off on the fringe.
Steve Surrey has just bogeyed 16 after birdieing the previous 2 holes.
Nice balanced swing there from Steve. Well, the safe shot, we've seen a lot of that today. Not happy.
Griffiths. A little bit of break in this, but really the key is, does it come onto the green smoothly to hold its line? And I don't think it did. Just hopped a bit right as it came onto the green, and that's why it finished where you can see.
Yeah, it was a big moment for him. It was a chance to get back to 2 behind with 3 to play.
Now let's see what Hemstock's got. This is testing his short game skills to the max. He's gone for the little bump and run there. That's a cheeky one. Has actually done not too bad at all. Left himself a chance there to save par.
Everyone just seems very happy to take their par on this 17th today, Scott. You're not seeing many players dropping shots here, and not many birdies either. It just seems to be pars for everyone.
Yeah, it is a tricky green once you're on there, and it's a tough pin position to get close, as we keep saying. Really tough to get it back there. So yeah, 3 is a good score on there today.
Third birdie in a row for Mosley.
Yeah, it's a good fight back for him today, that.
I mentioned there that most of these leading contenders are parring 17. Don't want to do any damage late on, and you can very easily do so on 17. And Surrey joins that group. Can still break 70 for the 3rd day in a row if he can make a rare birdie on 18.
So, can Hemstock read this one correctly? Most people have left it to the left, but not our Billy, who reads it perfectly and saves his par.
Yeah, 3 birdies and 8 holes in the middle of the round. Progress stalled a bit by then bogeying the 13th, but Hemstock closes with a 69 and continues a very decent season. And this man has suddenly got all his momentum back.
Yeah, he'll be eyeing the flag down here from such a short range. A little bit of spin required, but that's a good result anyway. Another chance for him.
Now, if Surrey could somehow get up and down from here and make birdie, it could secure his first top 5 finish of the season.
Steady on, steady on.
So, our leader, par 3 17th, just requires a good straight hit to the middle of the green.
Yeah, par finish should be good enough for him.
And he's leaked it out, keeping that one very safe. Again, looking to the skies, as so many of the players have done. Good setup from here from Moore. Like Gary said, just trying to make a balanced swing. Control the ball flight with this breeze. Trying to send it to the middle of the green, which he didn't quite manage on this occasion.
He's looked very composed and comfortable throughout the back 9, Scott, but bound to be some nerves now this close to the finish.
Yeah, most definitely. Having not won a tournament before, not finished one off. As we look at the huge backspin on that one, that is fabulous.
Griffiths hasn't dropped a shot on any hole on the back 9 all week.
That's good. So, almost coming to the last throw of the dice for Chris Lloyd. So, I'm sure he's going to try and be as aggressive as possible and force it up to that back tier. But he too has just let it leak a bit right and is on the lower level. So, it's not going to be easy to make birdie from there, and the deep sigh rather said it all, if a sigh can say something.
I think he probably needs to make that and then birdie the last to have a chance. Only a handful of birdies on either hole today, so it's a big ask. Steve Surrey.
Yeah, he just comes up a little shy on that one. Again, leaves himself a tester on the last green.
Mosley to complete the set by making birdie on 16 in all 3 rounds, and he has. 4 birdies in a row now in this final round charge, making up for all the damage he did around the turn. Let's go to Kit at the 17th.
Tricky little chip here for Moore. There's a tier in the green about 2/3 of the way to the hole. He'll need to get it running before that tier because it could die into it if he kills it there.
Let's see how he fares with it then.
Yeah, 3-shot advantage, but he will still be looking to get this one up there tight to the hole if possible. He's played it very well indeed. That's a great shot, great touch.
It's the shot of someone who's comfortable being in the lead this late in the day.
Steve Surrey from 5 feet for his par. Don't like them, do you, Scott?
They're the
whistle
worst.
all the way round.
Comes back and looks at you, and on the final green as well, that is going to hurt. Those last 3 holes, 2 bogeys, 2 drop shots for a level par round 71.
Up and down sort of day for him, but that's going to be good enough to secure his 3rd top 10 finish of the season. Chris Lloyd still hasn't dropped a shot all day. Not going to be good enough to win. So really now it's just about trying to hold on to second place. And this is the man trying to deny him that, Curtis Griffiths.
Yeah, that approach shot spun hugely back to pin high, and he converts that nicely.
And as he has 2 holes left, still a chance that he could yet deny Moore the title, particularly if Moore were to have a little slip up here.
Yeah, these are the little knee knockers. No sign of it there.
So here we are on the 18, 396 yards, straight away up the chute between these. First 2 bunkers don't really come into play. It's only this one on the right that we're passing now that could trouble a tee shot that's cut away. And the challenge today is because the pin is tucked in this sort of tongue on the left side, it's very easy to go down the bank or run too far, as we've already seen. Tough finishing hole, not going to be easy to make a birdie.
And certainly not from here, we wouldn't think.
Yeah, Chris Lloyd has been 3rd at Close House and at the Army Club. Should finish at least 3rd today. Would love to go one better. If he can birdie the last, he might just do it, and somehow he's given himself a chance.
Yeah, that's a great recovery shot there. You can see he's aiming right. Big high shot, trying to pull it in. Turning his body through that massively, working it in on the wind, back to the green, which he did successfully.
Mosley looking to continue this brilliant closing stretch he's putting together.
And leaning over, it looks like it's a bit right when you see that sort of leaning. And again, we're in a very popular area of the green.
Yeah, we could almost go and place them there, I think, Gary, couldn't we? The guys all trying to work it in from right to left, but here's Moore on 18.
One last good swing and it should all be his.
Yeah, no heroics. Try and get it pin high on the right there. 2 putts and pocket the check.
Ooh, wow.
Ooh.
He was just trying to go pin high right, Gary. Just didn't quite get the contact. Maybe a little bit of nerves on the 18th.
Wouldn't be human if you didn't, surely.
No, that's right. Yeah, always good to have a bit of nerves. Just got to channel it correctly.
So if Moore were to drop a shot there, could Griffiths still have a chance?
Yeah, he certainly could, but I think he's going to have to make a 2 here.
Again, looking to work it in from the right edge of the green with the breeze, and he nearly did it. As we've said many times, a few guys have nearly got it there.
Let's go to Kit on the last with Moore.
It's a 2-shot lead for Moore up 18, but he's still got a little bit of work to do. He's come up short of the green. He's got a lot of the fringe grass to carry here. He may try and bump it short and run it up, or does he fly it all the way to the green? It's not a straightforward up and down, but with a 2-shot lead, you take it.
What did you do at the last when you won here all those years ago, Scott?
Well, if I remember rightly, the pin was on the left side, but at the back, and I kind of bailed it into the front right corner and managed to drain about a 35-footer, which was obviously a nice touch to finish. But he's played that one pretty well, just looking for it to release out a little bit.
I think he hit that too well. He got such a good contact. He got more backspin on it than he would have expected, but he'll be pretty pleased with it.
So Griffiths, this to be just 1 shot behind. It's such a tough putt from down there, though.
It is. He gave it a chance, but just misread it.
Chris Lloyd to finish with a birdie, which there have been very few of on 18 today. I think he'll be happy enough to settle for his par.
Yeah, it's been a solid day. It's just not quite happened for him. As we said, Moore has just knocked in some putts ahead of him, and he's not followed him in when he needed to. But look at that solid card again.
Yeah, incredibly, only 1 dropped shot all week, but it's a 68 to finish, and that might prove good enough to claim at least a share of second place. Slightly frustrating day for him, though, but very solid, as you say, Scott. Now, this man needs to be solid here. Griffiths to stay at 14 under. Oh, that's nicely done. Keeps the dream alive.
Mosley just to finish off as well. Another safe par.
Yeah, tied 39th at the Oxfordshire last week, his best so far. And that was after missing 4 cuts in a row, so this is definitely going to be his best of the season. Now, can Moore finish with a par? Oh, that's the way to close out a tournament.
I have to say it's been hugely impressive, hasn't he, today?
Yep, he's done all the things he needed to. He's rode his luck as well.
And the eyes are drawn to that one at the second, but probably more significant was the run of 4 birdies in a row on his way to a back 9 of 31. And it should be good enough.
Yeah, and that's a nice feeling. First win, looking like under his belt.
And it will be his first win unless Griffiths can hold this.
Well, stranger things have happened.
And James Moore is the winner of the COBRA PUMA Golf Championship.
Yeah, that was a solid shot, but it doesn't get him into a playoff, unfortunately. And Mosley, who has been very, very solid in these closing holes, opts for the safe option there as well.
And he's got 2 putts from there to secure 4th place on his own. James Moore filling out what we now know is going to be the winning scorecard.
So can Mosley continue this good work on this back 9 with a final long putt?
This for a 69.
Nice little tap in for his par, which will give him a round of 70.
Yeah, double bogey 7 at the 10th killed his chances, but ultimately he did respond well. And after that 62 yesterday, it's a 70 today for the Welshman.
Yeah, that was a fine comeback from him. Now Griffiths, also with a longish birdie attempt to close out his tournament.
Probably just be happy with the 2-putt, because if he makes the birdie putt, it's not going to make any difference. So he's left with that to be 4th on his own. He's left it a bit short. And that water will taste very, very good indeed for James Moore. Needed that to be 2nd on his own. Dream start, 2 birdies in the first 3 holes, but then gave those shots back quickly. Made a good fight of it coming home, but in the end, Moore was just too good for him. First EuroPro Tour win then for Sheffield's James Moore, closing 65, 16 under. Finishes 2 ahead of Curtis Griffiths, who keeps up the momentum after his recent win. Chris Lloyd finishes in 3rd place for the 3rd time this season. Let's hear from the top 3 finishers.
Frustrated, probably, disappointed as well. I mean, 1 bogey a week, so the golf was there, played nicely, just didn't really have the breaks today and didn't hold a couple of putts coming in. And apart from that, I can't be too disappointed.
I mean, I've done everything I could to win. Played nicely, had a couple of tough breaks in, well, bad shots really, but yeah, in the middle of the round that cost me. But yeah, other than that, I'm happy. I mean, 2nd's a good week for me. It's not far away. I mean, 2 off the lead. Can't moan at that.
James, you've won the COBRA PUMA Golf Championship. How do you feel?
Obviously very happy. Just had one of those days where I think it's about time I won one. So it was one of those things where when I obviously got the hole in one in the second, I was thinking maybe it is my day, and then holding putts from everywhere helps as well.
No one's ever won a golf tournament without any luck going their way, but there were a couple of par 5s where you got a little lucky after your 2nd shots today.
Yeah, God, don't even want to talk about that. Well, you need that to win, don't you? Obviously, I've had enough bad luck come my way in that sort of situation, so you need it.
So a share of 5th place for Matthew Court as he continues to lead the race to Desert Springs. With only 3 tournaments to play, he looks to be heading for the Challenge Tour. Curtis Griffiths, 2nd today at Hawkstone Park and now 2nd overall, a climb of 3 places, Mark Lasky, Billy Hemstock and Greg Payne all drop 1 place, but all remain in that all-important top 5. And as for James Moore, just outside the top 5 now, a climb of 12 places to 6th for him after winning the COBRA PUMA Golf Championship at Hawkstone Park.
Well, what a fantastic achievement for James Moore. What did you think of the action today, Kit?
It was fantastic. We saw a lot of birdies out there, and a win for James Moore is wonderful. He's one of the most well-liked guys on tour. He's missed out many times before, so to see him finally get that first win, popular with a lot of the guys.
It was a long time coming for him as well, wasn't it?
Very much so. He's shown he's had the talent a lot of times, but just down the stretch never quite got it done. Now I think we'll see him really kick on the rest of the season.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. Well, that's it for all the action today, but join us next week when we'll be at Mar Hall.